Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the ocean, it is a great pleasure to be with you today. So I would like first to thank the organizer to invite me and the opportunity to speak with you about the subject of growing importance for all of us, the blue economy opportunity. So when we speak about the ocean, we are not speaking about a distant environmental issue. We are speaking about one of the essential foundations of life, stability, and prosperity on Earth. The ocean generates around 50% of the oxygen we breathe. It absorbs nearly 30% of global carbon dioxide emissions. It hosts an immense share of the planet's biodiversity. Indeed, around 80% of life on Earth is found in the ocean. And yet, a large part of it remains unexplored, which means that much of its value, its richness, and its potential are still unknown. But the ocean is not only a vital ecological system, it is also an extraordinary economic asset. According to the OECD, the ocean economy already contributes around $1.5 trillion annually in direct economy value. The broader value of ocean goods and services has been estimated at around $2.5 trillion, and it could grow to $3 trillion by 2030, making it comparable to the world's fifth largest economy. And yet, despite this central importance, the ocean still does not receive the attention it deserves. This is perhaps best illustrated by one striking paradox. SDG 14, Life Below Water, remains the least funded of all of the Sustainable Development Goals. At a time where the ocean is so directly connected to climate, biodiversity, food security, health, and economic resilience, this is not only surprising, it is deeply alarming. Because of the truth is simple. The ocean is directly connected to our own well-being. First, it regulates our climate. The ocean absorbs about 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouses in the atmosphere. Second, it sustains life. The ocean is home to a vast share of the world's biodiversity. Third, it feeds humanity. Around 3 billion people depend on the ocean as a main source of food. And finally, it sustains entire sectors of global economy, industries such as fisheries, tourism, shipping, biotechnology, and pharmaceutical. All depend, in one way or another, on a healthy ocean to thrive. So the benefits are obvious. The ocean protects us, it feeds us, it supports jobs and livelihoods, it drives innovation, and it underpins economic activity across the world. And yet, at the very same time, we continue to place an ever-increasing amount of pressure on it. Global warming is driving marine heat waves with devastating consequences for ecosystem and coastal communities. Sea level rise is threatening infrastructure, livelihoods, and entire territories. Overfishing continues to deplete marine resources. Coral reefs are declining. Marine species are under growing pressure. Ocean acidification and pollution are accelerating. And these pressures do not remain confined to the ocean. They can lead to increasing migration flows. They can dramatically raise the economic and social costs of intense storms and flooding. And they can weaken economic growth, including through disruptions to maritime trade, supply chains, and coastal economies. So we are faced with a contradiction. We all benefit from the ocean, we all depend on the ocean, but we are still failing to value it properly, protect it sufficiently, and invest in it seriously enough. This is precisely why the blue economy is such an opportunity. Preserving the ocean as a sustainable resource requires major investment. Experts estimates that around 175 billion US dollars per year is needed, yet only a fraction of this amount is currently being mobilized. But this gap should not only be seen as a challenge, it should also be seen as an opportunity. Because a sustainable blue economy is not about extracting more from the ocean, it is about creating a model in which economic development and ocean health reinforce one another. It is about recognizing that long-term prosperity depends on healthy maritime ecosystems and is about building an economy that is not only sustainable, but increasingly regenerative. That means investing in solutions that restore and protect natural capital, mangroves, seagrasses, coral reefs, and resilient coastal ecosystems. That means supporting sustainable fisheries, cleaner shipping and yachting, smart ports, innovative ocean technology, marine renewable energy, circular solutions to pollution, ocean data, and science-based governance. That means developing financial tools and investment strategies capable of scaling solutions that are both environmentally sound and economically viable. And above all, it means changing the way we think. For too long, the ocean has been treated as vast, resilient, and somehow secondary. As tough, it could continue absorbing pressure indefinitely. But the ocean is not big to fail. If we want to address the double climate and biodiversity crisis, the ocean must become far more central in our thinking, our policies, and our financing. And this requires action on several fronts. First, it requires greater awareness. There is too little public understanding how directly ocean health affects our own lives. The ocean is too often seen as a separate environmental issue, when in reality it is deeply connected to food system, public health, economic stability, climate adaptation, and even international security. Second, it requires a stronger governance. We need better protection of marine ecosystems, stronger enforcement against illegal fishing, more coherent marine spatial planning, and policy frameworks that align economic incentives with long-term ocean stewardship. Third, it requires far greater mobilization of capital. And yet, there are reasons for optimism. We are seeing growing recognition that the ocean is not only an environmental imperative, but also a space for innovation, resilience, and investment. There are already major opportunities across a wide range of blue economy sectors, from the decarbonization of maritime transport and ports, the ocean data and marine intelligence, to ecosystem restoration, biotechnology, aquaculture, and renewable energy. We're also seeing more interest from public institutions, philanthropies, companies, and investors. Private equity funds, family offices, impact funds, banks, insurance companies, just to name a few, are increasingly looking at the blue economy as a space where financial returns and environmental impact can be aligned. Of course, capital will not flow at the pace required unless we address the barriers investors still perceive: regulatory uncertainty, insufficient policy support, limited risk mitigation tools, and inadequate impact metrics. But momentum is clearly building, and we're also seeing the emergence of new coalitions, new financial mechanisms, and new forms of collaboration, linking science, policy, and finance. A strong illustration of this was the Blue Economy and Finance Forum held in Monaco last June. The event marked a significant step forward for ocean finance. It brought together 1,800 participants from nearly 100 countries and helped turn growing blue finance momentum into concrete commitments. More than $25 billion in already identified investments were highlighted across ocean transition, such as maritime transport, ecosystem restoration, ocean energy, and biotechnology. In addition, a further $8.7 billion in firm commitments by 2030 were announced, including 4.7 billion from philanthropists and private investors, and 4 billion euros from public financial institutions. The forum also helped structure major coalitions for future action, including the Business in Ocean, the launch of Philanthropist and Investor in Ocean Alliance, the Black-Blue Coalition representing $3 trillion in assets under management. These are not small signals. They show that the blue economy is no longer a distant concept. It is becoming an increasingly credible strategic and financial reality. So to conclude, the blue economy opportunity is already here. The momentum is real, but it's still not enough. Everything is increasingly in place to make a major turning point possible. The task now is to turn momentum into markets, commitments into implementation, and ambition into durable impact. What is needed, in fact, is a real shift in mindset, a shift from viewing ocean protection as a cost to recognizing it as an investment in long-term resilience and in the scaling of blue economy activities. A shift from fragmented initiative to coordinated action, a shift from short-term extraction to long-term stewardship, and a shift from seeing the ocean as peripheral to understanding that is absolutely central to our collective future. Because the ocean is not only part of the challenge, it is also a fundamental part of the solution. Thank you.